Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. It's nice to be back on the air again. I know I haven't been back on the air since Saturday of this past weekend, so it's nice to be back. We're going to talk Browns, and we'll talk some Browns and NFL draft, and we'll talk about when we think the baseball season is going to get underway, and if the March Madness tournament is going to ever get played, or if the Cavs do the finish the rest of the season and the postseason gets played. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Which of the following NFL teams does not play in its home city? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Turning to some Browns and NFL draft news, correctly predicted the entire first round of the NFL draft. Feels like asking a person to fill out the perfect bracket for the March Madness tournament, and it's a field of 68 schools. And it's filled of 68 schools, which we know it's not happening, and it's damn near impossible. Now, I know we're all eager for sporting events, and I've been having to watch sports against from the past and from a year ago, and I'm just wanting to watch a sporting event today. And I know we're all eager for that again, and we're all wondering when the baseball season will get underway, because we know we get the World Series in the fall, but this is a time of year where we can't wait for baseball, and we don't know if the Cavs are going to be able to finish out their season, and if the NBA postseason is going to take place, or if the March Madness tournament is going to take place because of this coronavirus situation. So we're going to have to wait and see when this gets lifted. But right now, they are saying that the baseball season may not get underway until mid to late May or June. But will it be played in Arizona or Florida? Will the home fields in all states get to have games? We're going to have to wait and see on that. So I'll keep you posted. But now, do you remember when Duke math professor Jonathan Manningley projected that fitting out a perfect bracket has odds of 1 in 2.4 trillion? And that is absolutely true. That's how this has been written by Nick Camino, who you can hear on WTAM 1100, but you also can read his podcast, his articles, and hear him on WKYC.com and on Twitter. That's how I feel, and a lot of us feel, about the NFL mock draft. The NFL draft is so unpredictable. There are so many variables, trades, late scouting information that the public has zero access to. And it's stupid teams doing dumb things, yet similar to the NCAA tournament bracket, everyone is filling them out and everyone is doing them. I have, and we all have yet to see a perfect NFL mock draft. And yes, I'm only talking about the first round, which will be held on April 23rd, and it will be held by phone, and this year, because they're going to be doing it remotely, so that this can take place. And I will be doing continuous podcasting, and I will be having my really good friend Matt Murphy will join me by video chat, as I will be up in Studio B, which is my TV room, and so I will be in Studio B to continuously podcast to you. And I'm gonna I'm gonna try to see if I can get my co-anchor who I do sports with on Thursday mornings when I'm down there at Magnolia Clubhouse Wednesday and Thursday. But on Thursday mornings, Keith Norman, who you hear on Sports Radio AM 850 WKNR. So please tune in on April 23rd remotely for the NFL draft this year, because of, as I've said, the ongoing coronavirus crisis, COVID-19. If you're filling out, or worse yet, reading a full 7-round mock draft, please seek help immediately. That's what Nick Camino says. So I'll be blunt. I've been asked by WKYC to put together a 2020 NFL draft. Now I am not predicting the entire first round because I know it will be so inaccurately awful. My attempt at this will be to nail the top 10 overall picks of next Thursday's NFL draft, which is 1 week away from this Thursday. Somehow I have convinced myself this is possible. The Cleveland Browns, number 10 pick overall. So perhaps after that, you don't even care what happens the rest of that evening. Plus, with my unhealthy habit of watching too much college and pro football in the fall, I'm viewing this as a challenge. If anything else, this can serve as a guide for us on draft night where we can have some fun, and see where it was spot on and with my predictions and also dead wrong. So more likely, be sure to follow Nick Camino on Twitter at WKYC, NickCamino.com on April 23rd, and Nick Camino will be giving a play-by-play of, yes, another NFL mock draft. And I have the top 10 right here that I'm going to announce to you right now. I'm going to let you know what they are, his predictions of the top 10. For the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals, the first round pick. You have the first pick in the first round. And Nick Camino has Joe Burrow. Has the Bengals taking Joe Burrow with the first pick. And the quarterback out of LSU. And if they do take him, where is Andy Dalton going to be playing this season? Could it be the Patriots? Could it be another franchise? And so we'll have to wait and see. We're going to find out. We'll have to wait and find out on that. Excuse me. Number two, the Washington Redskins have the second pick overall, and Camino has them taking defensive end Chase Young of Ohio State. He was one of the best players this past season, and in this draft, he's one of the best ones. And I feel the Redskins should go with him because the Bengals and the Dolphins both need a franchise quarterback, and if the Giants take Burrow, they could end up trading Justin Herbert. He can go down the line or up the line the other way. So I think they need to go with a defensive end versus a franchise quarterback. They have other rounds they can try to get a quarterback, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. The Detroit Lions have the number 3 pick overall in this draft, and Nick Camino has them taking Jeff Odeka, quarterback of Ohio State. Now the Lions are really in need of an offensive lineman and a linebacker, and they need some left tackles and also right tackles. Besides, they could trade for Jedrick Willis Jr., offensive lineman of Alabama, which is what they need. And Camino says, and I agree with him that they should do that. So we'll see what they do because they can do a lot of trading in that first round. Now, the New York Giants have the number 4 pick, and it's Tristan Wirfs, offensive lineman from Iowa, out of Iowa University. And I feel that I feel Wirfs is they need an offensive lineman, but because they need to have some protection for Saquon Barkley and for their quarterback, who did not have an impressive season a year ago. So I think they should take Tristan Wirfs in that first round. They've got some more rounds so they can try to get a quarterback. The Miami Dolphins have the number 5 pick overall, and Camino has them taking Justin Herbert, the quarterback out of Oregon, in the first round. Now, the Dolphins also need a franchise quarterback, but if they go with one of the bigger names, they could trade Justin Herbert for Burrow. If they go with him, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I think Tagovailoa, But I think the Dolphins should go with Herbert. I agree. The LA Chargers have the 6th-round pick, and they could trade their way with 5 and 6. Camino has them taking Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback of Alabama. Now, they are in need of a quarterback since Phil Rivers decided to step down, or as he was traded, actually, excuse me, and they really needed some offensive linemen, and they need a linebacker as well. So, I really feel they could trade with Miami for Justin Herbert, or I would say go with Tua Tagovailoa. The Carolina Panthers have the 7th pick in the round, and Camino has them taking Isaiah Thomas, linebacker of Clemson, and they need a linebacker. Besides, Carolina has a 2nd round and other picks to get a franchise quarterback that they need, but I think they need to concentrate on the defensive side and get a linebacker as well. The Arizona Cardinals have the 8th pick, and that's Camino has them taking Jedrick Willis Jr., offensive lineman of Alabama. Now they want to get some protection for Kyler Murray, who was sacked so many times a year ago, and they want to concentrate on the defensive end of the ball, but they want to keep Kyler Murray healthy. But I really think they should go with Jedrick Lewis or there was another offensive lineman. I can't remember his name, but I really think that they should go with a Jedrick Willis, because that would be a good choice for them in the 1st round. Or they could trade up. You never know. The Jacksonville Jaguars have the 9th pick in the 1st round of the draft, and Nick Camino has them taking C.J. Henderson, cornerback of Florida, and they do need a cornerback, a CB. They also need an offensive lineman, and they need a right tackle is what they need, because they really lacked that last year. But I really think Jacksonville could trade up or trade down either way, but I would take Henderson in the 1st round if I was Jacksonville's head coach. And rounding out the top 10, your beloved Cleveland Browns have it, the number 10 pick in the 1st round. And Camino has them taking Mekhi Becton, offensive lineman of Louisville. Now, keep this in mind, the Browns need not only an offensive lineman, they need a left tackle, they need a tight end, and they need a linebacker. They need to find protection with Baker Mayfield, and this is not going to be a rebuilding year by any means for the Browns. And they really, I would go with Becton in the 1st round or Andrew Thomas of Georgia. Now we'll get back to this in just a moment because I'm almost out of time, and I need to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NFL trivia question. Which of the following NFL teams does not play in its home city? If you said the Dallas Cowboys, you are correct. The Cowboys do not actually play in Dallas, but at AT&T Stadium in nearby Arlington, Texas. I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. But getting back to this, the NFL draft and all that, I like Nick Camino's predictions for the top 10, and we'll see what happens when the NFL draft gets underway for round 1 next Thursday on April 23rd through April 25th. I'll have rounds 2, 3, and 4 on Friday, and 5, 6, and 7 on Saturday, leading up to pick number 254, Mystery Relevant. So tune in. I'm looking forward to it because we're doing it by phone this time. And so I really think that the Browns are going to really... And Andrew Berry's always shelled out over $100 million. He's signed some guys through free agency, Jack Conklin and a few other players. And I think we're going to do well in the draft. So we'll see what happens. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with another podcast, hopefully on Thursday. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.